very red, but it's alright. What is going on, Peep Squad? My name is Luke from Casual Experts, and this video is about Lisey's story. So, I was originally planning on doing, because I actually just finished this book yesterday, and the series premiered today. So I was thinking about doing, like I did for The Stand, like every week, doing an episode review, but it doesn't seem like that's going to be in the cards because we have a very busy schedule with not only YouTube but also with my personal life. I got a lot of stuff going on. I just don't know if I could do that every week. So instead I'm just going to do like I normally do with a book adaptation thing where I talk about the book a little bit and then I talk about the show. Only there's the first 2 episodes. I think I'll probably come back when the series is over and do kind of an overcap? I'm not sure if overcap is a word. Overview and recap. It's an overcap. I made it a new word now. Cool. So, Lisey's story came out in 2006 by Stephen King. He said it was his favorite of his novels. I read it. I really enjoyed it. Some people didn't. It's very divisive because it's really a personal story. It's a very slow story. It's very heavy on the romance, and a lot of times, in the case of Stephen King's stories, aren't typically like this. It's more about the action, the spooks. Not saying that's a bad thing. I love The Stand. That's all good stuff. I'm just saying that this book is very different from that, and I also like it. Some people don't because it's different, and that's okay. You can like what you like. It's all good. But yeah, so basically the story is about a widow of a writer, a writer's widow, it's probably a better way to put it, who's finally going through and emptying out all of his things, and she's going through stuff, and she kind of remembers little pieces of their time together, and this is where a lot of the romance in the story kind of goes in, because a lot of those moments that she's remembering are very integral moments in their relationship, but also she's kind of piecing together these little things that happen during those moments, and when she takes those kind of weird little oddities that happened and puts them together, she's kind of realizing that her husband Scott had this ability to go to this other world. You could like teleport there, and somehow, I'm not really sure. This seems to be very obvious in the show, but in the book, it's a little bit less. It's a little bit more ambiguous, to use a very fancy word. It seems that in the show, Scott knows this is going to happen, knows the events of the story are going to happen, so he prepares for them before he dies. But in the book, it just seems to be like a happy accident. I don't think that Scott prepared for these events to happen in the order that they did. Everything just kind of fell into place in the book. So, yeah, the villains of the story, they're not really the focus of this story. As opposed to a lot of other Stephen King stories, the main focus is the villain. But in this, the villain is kind of this guy hired by an academic type to get the unpublished works of Scott and bring it to the university. Only the guy that the academic hired is a psychopath. And in the show, I forget the actor's name, but in the show he's played by this dude. Hopefully, I'm going to put his name on the screen. I think he's from The Amazing Spider-Man 2. He played the Green Goblin. But a lot of what he does, he plays this crazy psycho character. It's kind of his typecast, if you will. But in the novel, what made him kind of scary was that he just looked like everybody else. He's just a normal-looking dude. And so that kind of added to it. But if you see this guy on the street, it's like, yeah, that guy's freaky. Don't mess with him. Anyway. That's kind of my main criticism of the show so far, is that casting's a little bit weird. Also, with Scott, the casting's a little bit weird. In the book, he was very charming, but in the show, he's also a little bit weird, not gonna lie. I do love Julianne Moore in this role. She's fantastic. The show itself is really just gorgeous, the way everything's shot and set up. Very artistic. The title sequence is scary with the puppets. But yeah, so Stephen King actually wrote the teleplay for the show, so it's going to be very interesting to see what he changes and what he takes away, that sort of thing. But yeah, so I think that a lot of people maybe aren't going to like this show. Because, like, for example, if you like... There are a lot of people that just watch the Stephen King adaptations, which is fine. do what you like. And if for most of the time in a Stephen King adaptation, the people who are adapting it try to take a story and it, for example, they take it and they take all the weird things that wouldn't really play well in that wouldn't really appeal to casual audiences or just like the mainstream audiences. So they take all that out and they present a more streamlined, if you will, story from the book. And so it's very much more approachable that way in most cases. But with this, it's very, very different. It's a book that not even a lot of the fans don't even like. But the way that the creative team behind the show is going, it's not really like that. It's almost like they made it less accessible. I don't mean that in a bad way. Just they made it very, very artistic. And if you just came off of like watching The Stand, for example, that was the last adaptation, and you go to this, I'm not sure how you would react to something like that. If that's your case, I would really be interested to see what you think about this show so far. Comment down below with your thoughts. But yeah, honestly, I like this book a lot. I might put it in my top 10 even. I don't know. It was great. But yeah, so what are your thoughts on the book, the show so far? Comment down below with all that, and you can like and subscribe, and click the links in the description for our social media, Instagram, Facebook, podcasts. We have podcasts coming. We have podcasts. We'll hopefully kind of put out more episodes more regularly because we haven't been doing that a whole lot with the podcast. And then our Patreon if you'd like to contribute to what we do here. Until next time, my name is Luke, and I will see you next time. Oh. Peace out.